You are listening to Elevator TV Radio.
All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elevator TV Radio. My name is Daffy Matthews. I'm going to have to come in the Elevator One Sports. It's another time for us to take up on the news of sports all around the world. Yes, there was no Premier League, but that doesn't mean that there was no sport. As a matter of fact, there was a whole lot more sports that we could have ever imagined. Nigerian teams on the continent did us proud. The ones that went away came back with at least a draw, and the ones that played at home decided that it was going to be a 3-0 whacking of the opposition. As Kwara scored 3 unreplied goals, just as Rivers United scored 3 unreplied goals, but for Plateau United away, it was 2-2, and the well-traveled Remo Stars got a 1-1 draw away from home. All of that are coming in the news segment of the show. Barcelona showed what stuff they are made of, as well as Real Madrid coming off in the second half to dump in goals on the opposition like those were going out of fashion. Juventus are still suffering. It's a time to let Max Allegri go. What's the problem with Juventus? They just seem not to find a way to win games. Whoever they play, whether it's Sampdoria, whether it's Salernitana, whoever they play, if excuse me, guys, it always ends up in a draw. I don't understand why. And Bayern Munich over the weekend also didn't do themselves. Robbed themselves in glory as they also drew 2-2. And for those who bank on ticket, those were teams that destroyed ticket for them. And you could always sit back and say to yourself, who to bank on if you can't bank on these teams that seemingly look like they are very, very short teams. But then the rise and rise of FC Barcelona have led to more fans coming to the stadium. Have also led to a lot of people saying that this team might just go on and usurp Real Madrid, both for the league title and the Champions League, even though the English fans will say this is the year of Pep Guardiola and Manchester City having Erling Haaland. Even though I agree with that, but I think that there is a soft spot with Manchester City that is giving me cause for worry. No team wins the Champions League without a defense that is rock solid. Unfortunately, Manchester City's defense is not rock solid. But then I've also seen teams play badly in the group stage. Real Madrid, Chelsea, a lot of other teams play badly in the group stage and go on to pick their pick from the knockout round. So anything is possible. But the question of the day, how do we solve the Juventus conundrum? Because they don't seem to have answer to any team. I remember when last January Arsenal couldn't sign Dusan Vlahovic, everybody said that Edu and Arteta were not doing well. They're bringing back the old Arsene Wenger era where they promise a lot and do nothing. What do you still think that Arsenal fans should be looking at Dusan Vlahovic right now and be missing him? Even though he's a good striker, you can see that, but there's just something not working for him at Juventus. But then, that said, the focus is how can we solve the Juventus conundrum? In the Bundesliga, there are a lot of teams with 12 points. Who do you think will go on to pick up a good run and win the league title? Don't forget that this week, Borussia Dortmund will play against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. No better team that knows Haaland more than Borussia Dortmund. Can Borussia Dortmund stop Haaland? But then again, can Haaland use his knowledge of Borussia Dortmund to also bang a hat-trick in the Champions League? There's so many questions to answer. Where do we go? The death of the Queen. Has it done Chelsea a great deal of favor? Has it provided them an opportunity to get to know their new coach, understand the new coach before? I was thinking if they had played this weekend, definitely Chelsea was going to lose. But see how it went now. After Zagreb, they've not played a game since then. They were mourning, but doesn't mean that they were not training. Obviously, they were training, and we all know that it gives the coach an extra time, an extra, moment with the players to really explain himself and tell everybody what he is made of and who he's made of. But then, let's look at the headlines that we've got today. CAF Champions League and CAF Conference Cup, Rivers United, Plateau United, Kwara United, and Remo Stars. You know that we have 3 United on the continent and 1 Stars. Okay, okay, impressive results. And then you have club owners. Now this one is one that really tickled my fancy. This is the one that I'm really interested for. Club owners hail Nigerian team's performance CAF competition. I am devastated that my time at Chelsea have come to an end, according to Thomas Tuchel. US Open, Alcaraz wins trophy to become the youngest #1 in history. Okay. Iga Swiatek sweeps Jabber aside to win maiden US trophy. It is beginning to open the door to new era in tennis. Almost the big guys are beginning to bow out. I know that we still have Novak Djokovic, the one that is refusing to take the vaccine. We still have what's his name now? Rafael Nadal. We still have Roger Federer. But eventually, it seems like their time will soon be up, and then we'll have new sheriff in town. In Formula One, remember the headline says the Verstappen show continue as Max wins Italian Grand Prix. This is here anyway. You can't argue against him. You can't, fault him. But let's get down to the news. Okay, the 4 NPFL representative in the two times of CAF continental competition for 2022-2023 campaign began their quest to reach the group stage at the weekend. Rivers United, Kwara United recorded emphatic victories at home, while Plateau United and Remo Stars grabbed important away draws in the first leg of the preliminary round. In the CAF Champions League, NPFL champion Rivers United at the Adokiye Amiesimaka Stadium on Sunday put one foot into the second round of the competition with a comprehensive 3-0 win over Watanga FC of Liberia. Goals from Kenechukwu Agu in the 8th minute, Ebube Duru in the 18th minute, and Paul Acquah in the additional time of the first half were enough for Coach Stanley Eguma. And decided to go next round in the second leg affair. Let's see how that one goes. Fidelis Ilechukwu, my guy. Ilechukwu is my guy. I always say that. Okay. Fidelis Ilechukwu's Plateau United scored 2 away goals in Gabon against Stade Manjir as Manjir got a leveler to drop Plateau United, who were on the lead. In the CAF Conference Cup, Remo Stars recorded a fascinating 1-1 draw on their first ever appearance on the CAF Interclub competition against an experienced AS Far side in Morocco. And then this is like the biggest team. I thought that this was a game that was going to bring some massacre, but Remo Stars showed what stuff they are made of as they come at rest of the draw on the night. I don't know what's going to happen at the Kenya, but let's be happy with the result they got first. In a feed, Prince Molly Abdullah Stadium in Rabat, Remo Stars showed composure as they eased into the game perfectly in the first half, but conceded just before the half-hour mark from a set piece. 5 minutes into the second half, Adams Olamilekon headed home from a corner kick to secure a vital one for the Ikenne side. Olamilekon goal was an historic one for the side as he scored Remo's first ever goal in CAF Interclub competition. In Lagos, at the Mobology Johnson Arena, where we have Timothy Denibo live and direct overseeing proceedings, Kwara United terms as AS Dunas of Niger, as Wasiu Jimo's brace was good for the Harmony Boys going into the second leg as they recorded a 3-0 win. The return leg for the 4 teams will take place across various locations on Sunday, 18th September 2022. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see how that goes. So let's talk about people celebrating this already. The Football Club Owners Association of Nigeria have expressed joy over the great performances of Nigerian representative of the CAF competition so far. Nigerian flag bearers in the CAF competition, CAF Champions League, Rivers United won their first leg at encounter with a scintillating 3-0 win over visiting Liberia side Watanga FC. While Plateau United FC secured a vital 2-2 draw in Gabon against Stade Manjir FC. In the CAF Confederations Cup, Kwara United defeated AS Dunas of Niger Republic 3-0 in Lagos, while Remo Stars got a vital point in faraway Morocco with AS Far pulling a 1-1 draw. The results were good for the NPFL clubs and they deserve accommodation, said Club Owners Association in a statement jointly signed by the chairman, Barrister Isaac Danladi, and the Executive Secretary, Chief Kenechukwu Agu, the association charged the 4 representative clubs to use the second leg games to consolidate their result to move to the next round. Club owners assured them of maximum support and prayers, as they seek to bring honors to Nigeria. Now, this is the part that I don't understand. How does this work anyway? And I've not heard them, make any statement about what the minister said about dissolving or withdrawing government support for the LMC. I don't know what support government was actually giving the LMC before. Let's be very, very honest. I've not seen anybody explain that bit to me. Well, Thomas Tuchel is still talking and he's come out to speak for the very first time. Former Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel has explained his half, as his dismissal at Chelsea, and admit the club will retain a special place in his heart. Why not? You won the Champions League with them. Tuchel was sacked as Chelsea boss last week, just 7 games into the new season. Taking to social media, Tuchel on his page tweeted, "This is one of the most difficult statements I have ever had to write, and it is one which I hoped I could not need to do for many years. I am devastated that my time at Chelsea has come to an end." Well, it's not your club. You got paid. You should also understand that part. This is a club where I felt at home, both professionally and personally. Thank you so much for all the stuff, the players and the supporters for making me feel very welcome from the start. Towards the end, what happened? The pride and joy I felt at helping the team to win the Champions League, and the club World Club would stay with me forever. I am honored to have been a part of this club history, and the memories of the last 19 months will always have a special place in my heart. I wish you the very, very best. Anyway, let's talk tennis a bit. Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz has made history at the 2022 US Open as he emerged as the champion after an impressive showing in New York. The 19-year-old defeated Casper Ruud in the final to win his first Grand Slam title over. Now, there's going to be a battle between him, if he's for real or if he's just a one tournament superstar, and his fellow countryman, the Madrid lover, the man from Mallorca, the freak from Mallorca, Rafael Nadal. Let's see, experience and youth. Let's see how that goes. But I would love to see them play a double match, all right? I would love to see the 2 of them play a double match and take the title to Spain. Just a wish, anyway. I don't know if that would ever happen, but just a wish. Having first burst into the scene age 18, Alcaraz delivered a number of eye-catching performances that showed him as a potential future star. The teenager's showing at the US Open this year was proof of his brilliance at tennis. I guess you can't deny the fact that this boy grew up watching Rafa Nadal, and it would be good to have them two play double. Not play against each other, I'm not really interested in that. Play double and win together would make sense. Alcaraz clocked over 20 hours en route to the final as he defeated Yannick Sinner and Francis Tiafoe in the quarterfinals and semifinals, respectively. His meeting with 2022 French Open finalist Casper Ruud in the final was to have fan-reaching ramification with the world #1 ranking on the line. Carlos Alcaraz started the match in good form as he took the first set 6-4 after some impressive tennis against his 23-year-old opponent. Not one to be adored, Ruud showed his quality in the second set as he drew level 6-2 win over the opponent. God, that was good. In the third set, Ruud and Alcaraz exchanged blows, but the teenager looked as if he was beginning to tire as he committed numerous unforced errors. He showed great fight to force a tiebreaker with an ace to claim 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 6-3 win. Carlos Alcaraz became the second youngest man to win the US Open after Pete Sampras. He is also the youngest Grand Slam winner since Rafael Nadal won the French Open in 2005 as a 19-year-old. So I think this thing is a Spanish thing now. It becomes the #1 ranked player in the world, making him the youngest player ever and the first teenager to reach the ranking. His opponent Casper Ruud is the new number 2 player in men's tennis, capping off an impressive season for the Norwegian. Okay, in women's tennis, Swiatek showed she remains the player to beat, having closed out a 2022 major season with a comfortable win over one Jabber in the US Open Finals. And I think that's a girl that is she's African and all that, but why she didn't get it? The 21-year-old from Poland showed a great quality to claim the victory at Flushing Meadows. Okay, with Swiatek having won the French Open earlier this year, she was aiming to become only the second woman since Serena Williams in 2013 to win the US Open and the French Open in the same year. Her opponent was the first African woman to reach 2 Grand Slam finals in a year, with the Tunisian having lost in the Wimbledon final earlier this year. Sorry about that. But maybe the next one you will win. Swiatek showed a ruthless nature as she claimed the first set only in 29 minutes, showing Jabber why she is number 1 player in women's tennis. The 21-year-old showed excellent control and poise on the court before following up a first set performance with another in the second set to win the match 6-2, 7-6 in straight set. Iga Swiatek became the youngest woman to reach 3 Grand Slam finals since Maria Sharapova in 2008. She also became the first Pole to win the US Open title. Swiatek is currently, wow, sometimes you just see this record coming out. Swiatek has smartly taken on the position of the best player in women's tennis since the shock retirement of world number 1 Ali Bartley in March. Now let's talk some rubber and tires, rubber and emphatic in the fastest form possible. Red Bull's Max Verstappen inflicted a home defeat on Charles Leclerc and Ferrari in the Italian Grand Prix as he nears his second title. His cruise to the second title continued as he secured his 11th win this year and opened up a 116-point gap ahead of Leclerc and could potentially clinch the championship at the next race in Singapore. Ooh, Singapore, lovely country, lovely race, lovely circuit as well. Okay, and Mercedes George Russell took third ahead of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, both of whom fought up from the back of the grid to clinch the title. Max Verstappen needs to leave Singapore in 3 weeks' time, leading by at least 138 points on the driver's standing. Red Bulls lead Ferrari with a difference of 139. That's how she wrote. Okay, let's come back to you and I having a conversation on the show. But before that, let me jump into some of the talking points, some of the scores, some of the results that really captured my attention over the weekend. I mean, you would have thought that Villarreal would win their game against Betis away from home, but that didn't happen. And for some, it was terrible. Okay, remember Monday Night Football, Leeds United, Nottingham Forest is postponed, but AS Roma Empoli will go ahead. Almeria Osasuna will go ahead. There is nothing in other countries, it's just in England. And the Champions League would also go ahead. In England, it was supposed to be on Sunday. It was supposed to be Arsenal, Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, and Crystal Palace, Manchester United. That would have been a very, very interesting one to see. And for the very first time this season, we saw Paris Saint-Germain win by just a lone goal and assist for Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi seems to be playing as a number 10 player and he's giving up trying to go attack, lead and search for goal, but just create for his teammate. That was a beautiful assist he gave to him, and they ended that game 1-0. Monaco beat Lyon 2-1. Rennes were 5 goals to the good against AJ West former club. Toulouse managed a 1-0 win over 10-men Reims as they were red-carded. But let's not forget that Lorient beat Nantes by 3-2. Agas beat Montpellier by 2-1. Ajaccio were 1-0 losers at home to OGC Nice, and it was 0-0 between Strasbourg, who got 1 man red-carded, and Clermont. Let's not forget that in Germany yesterday, FC Cologne and Union Berlin, the club that Taiwo Awoniyi used to play for, it ended 1-0 in favor of the away team Union Berlin. FC Union Berlin, as FC Cologne also got a man sent off in that game Freiburg and Borussia Mönchengladbach played a goalless draw, and in Serie A, it was Atalanta, who was a ticket destroyer, played 1-1 against Cremonese, as well as Bologna playing winning 2-1 against Fiorentina, who had a man red carded in that game. Lecce played against Monza. It was 0-0. The newly promoted teams are beginning to find their rhythm and harmony in the league. Sassuolo were 3-1 losers to Udinese at home, and Lazio grind a 2-0 win over Verona. But then 2 red cards to Juventus and 1 to Salernitana made the game ended 2-2 with so many VAR decisions, albeit all of them were very, very accurate, not as controversial as you would see in the English Premier League. Real Madrid entered the half, drawing, and then came back, rowing to a 4-1 win over Mallorca, who scored first in this game, and seemed to have offended Real Madrid for doing that. Elche were 4-1 losers at home as Athletic Bilbao came and saw, and then they conquered, prevailed over them 4-1. Getafe beat Real Sociedad, yes, 2-1. In that game, I'm going to be very, very honest here. I was expecting them to win. Sadiq Umar was substituted pretty early in that game. I don't know why, but it was in the 38th minute that they brought off, they did that substitution. I want to believe that it wasn't such of a serious issue, but then it didn't stop them from losing as they lose the game 2-1. Maybe, just maybe, just maybe, okay? If he had played all through, they would have won, wearing jersey number 25. But then that didn't happen. They lost the game. Let's move on, okay? Villarreal lost to Betis 1-0. That was very, very annoying and very, very sad. I thought that they were good enough to have won, to get something out of that one, but that didn't happen. Let's not forget that there were also, apart from the Nigerian contingent, there were also other African teams that played on the continent in the CAF Champions League qualification. Black Bulls lost at home to Petro Atletico of Angola 3-0. CFFA of Madagascar lost 3-2 to Royal Leopard of Eswatini 3-2. And Flambia du Centro of Burundi 1-0 to Al Ittihad of Libya. St. George of Ethiopia beat their opponent Al Hilal of Duman of Sudan 2-1. AS Atta of Djibouti lost at home to Al Marik of Sudan 2-1. Rivers United, as I told you earlier before, now won their game 3-0 against Watanga of Liberia. Second leg should be a formality, but sometimes these are the games that you don't take for granted because anything is possible. Cotton FC of Benin lost at home to ASEC Mimosa of Ivory Coast. This club I almost signed for some years ago, but that's yesterday's story. Gaborone United of Botswana were 1-0 winners at home against AS Vita Club of DR Congo. I think this game will change in the second leg. Kara of Togo were 1-1 in their game between Nodalu of Mauritania and Casa of Senegal 1-0 against Kabylia of Algeria. That's how it went in the CAF Champions League. And in the CAF Confederations Cup, we have Al Hilal of South Sudan, playing a 1-1 draw against Kipanga of Zanzibar. And then you have Umbambane Highlanders of Eswatini playing 0-0 with Royal AM. Kwara United were 3-2 against Douanis Niamey of Niger. And LIS CRO FC of Liberia played a goalless draw with their opponent Sporting Gagnoa of Ivory Coast. Al Akda of Libya lost 1-3 against Ali Khartoum of Sudan, and Al Hilal of Sudan 1-0 against Gaita Gold of Tanzania. FAR Rabat of Morocco played a 1-1 draw against Remo Stars. That's how it went on the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup yesterday. Let's go to Saturday's result in European football, and I'm going to draw out a few things that I noticed in Saturday's game. Okay, let's start with the French Ligue 1, where I was expecting more, but 3 points is 3 points, okay? Whatever I was expecting, that's my expectation. It's not their reality. Paris Saint-Germain won 1-0 against Brest. I thought, playing at home at the Parc des Princes, they should have scored more. Marseille were 2-1 winners. They forgot what happened in Champions League and beat Lyon 2-1. In German Bundesliga, Bayern Munich conceded 2 goals again, and this time it ended 2-2 at home at the Bayern Arena, and it's Stuttgart. I thought they should have won this game with ease. Well, Eintracht Frankfurt also lost at home, just the same way they lost at home to Sporting in the Champions League to Wolfsburg 1-0. Hertha Berlin and Bayer Leverkusen played a 2-2 draw. Hoffenheim played and won 4-1 against Mainz, who had a red card. That's the only red card in the German Bundesliga for the weekend. RB Leipzig beat Borussia Dortmund 3-0. Same Borussia Dortmund that won the Champions League 3-0. Now this week are going to face Manchester City in the Champions League. What do you think is going to happen? Schalke 04 won their game 3-1 against Bochum. And then in Italy, it was a struggle, but eventually Napoli beat Spezia 1-0. Inter Milan struggled to a 1-0 win. Sampdoria were at home. It looks like AC Milan were going to end this game either losing or drawing after Rafael Leao was red carded for a second yellow card over a bicycle kick that hit the head of the player with his leg. But then it almost was going to end 1-1, but somewhere along the line, Olivier Giroud played 4 games in one. Won a penalty with the opposition player's hand to the ball, and he coolly tucked it in. And then they have to struggle to go past the line. AC Milan won that game 2-1 away from home at Sampdoria. In the Dutch league, it was Mechelen and Sittard playing a 1-1 draw. Ajax were no respecter of Heerenveen as they beat them 5-0. It doesn't matter how many players Ajax sold. It doesn't matter whether they change their coach or anything. Ajax will still be Ajax. What is that thing that Ajax know how to do? And FC Porto, Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, what is that thing that they know how to do that all the teams could pick from? Now, one of the things that I noticed with this team, and it's a conversation that I want us to talk about before I go to Spain now, is the fact that irrespective of what happens, they sell players at premium. They win games, they win their league title. They might not win Champions League, but then there are other clubs, like all those mid-table clubs in England, like Everton, West Ham, Southampton. Why are they not doing like Ajax? They might not win the league, but they should be able to, qualify for the continent and then go out there, even if it is the UEFA Europa Cup. Go there, make a good statement so that they can sell players to clubs outside of England with big premium. Okay, but that's never happened with them. That's one of the things that I was thinking of raising. But then in Spain, it was Rayo Vallecano beating Valencia 2-1, and then Espanyol losing at home to Sevilla, even with a man down 3-2. Getafe were beating 1-2. Cadiz, were beating 1-3 4-0. And Atletico Madrid showed their integrity as they beat Celta Vigo 4-1. That's how it went. Now let's come to you guys and see what you guys have to say. Unfortunately, there's a technical glitch with the WhatsApp, the phone of the WhatsApp, so we can't get WhatsApp messages. But I think if you're on Instagram or you're on the YouTube channel, we'll take up whatever you say. Miss Smiley says, Akanji and Haaland against Dortmund. Yum. That's good. Say good morning, boss. Good morning to you. And to go further down looking for the comments of everyone. Extrovert Mendel, okay, love your name. I always say that to you. He said, kudos to Nigerian teams on the continent. They all put up a good showing, but they should avoid complacency. If you can score 3 at home, you can also concede 3 goals away from home. I like that. I like that advice. Yeah, my coach used to say, if you can score 4 goals in the first half, they can score another 4 goals in the second half. It's just opportunity that they would have that would change the tide of the game. So you got to be ready. Okay, there Omowai says, what would diagnosis as the current problem plaguing Liverpool FC? What would you have done differently if you were in club shoes? God bless you more. If I was in club shoes, I wouldn't have sold Sadio Mane. I would have probably say, okay, let's let Firmino go. There's no need getting that Winonez for 80 million. That already will cover the entire salary that these players were asking. 400,000. Even if I want to negotiate, that's okay. From 150 that we're paying you, let's double your salary. Let's make it 300 or 350 for you and Mo Salah. I mean, you are the coach, you know the engine of your team. But the arrogance of thinking, oh, you can go and anybody can come in was not good for me. People can say it's the 7-year syndrome. People can say it's a bunch of injuries. But I've always asked this Liverpool team, who's the player that is playing right now that should not be playing? Elliott is a player they're integrating into the team. Apart from that one, every other person that is playing have been playing for Liverpool before when they were winning. So nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I think Sadio Mane leaving I've always said it anyway before he left, like 2 seasons ago, I started saying that this Sadio Mane is the engine of the team, because Sadio Mane make it easy for Mo Salah to score goals. But people don't see that. Like, Liverpool fans will come and like try to shred me, but it's just what I've seen in the game. And I know when, you know, somebody is working his butt off. I mean, I played in this game, I see the runs, I see the movement, I know who really work it for them. Now, when you have Darwin Nunez, who's doing TikTok slow motion challenge, you have Diaz, who is also working, but not on the level. He's playing his wing. Sadio Mane was not playing his wing. Sadio Mane was working for the team. So you see him defending more than defenders. You see him attacking more than attackers. You see him in midfield sometimes, everywhere. Every other player is not playing their wing, and then Darwin Nunez is doing slow motion challenge, TikTok slow motion challenge. He wants to win an award for that. I don't know. And it just changes the dynamics of the team. And Liverpool is that team where everybody have to play above 50% for the team to work, because that's how the system of your club is. Unfortunately, that's not there. Now, getting past that, I think that it needs to make some drastic calls and forget about the price tag of players and begin to play those players who are ready to work on his system. Or another thing he should do is to find a different form of play that's different from what they used to play, because that system is not working. That's like what Arsene Wenger did when he brought those small kids and he wanted them to play like Vieira, Thierry Henry, and the rest of the big boys who used to be there. Unfortunately, he called it the Arsenal way. The Arsenal way wasn't working. They played, they gave possession. They looked like they were going to win, but always they get beaten. And that's exactly what's happening with Liverpool right now. I just hope that they get it right anyway. Mrs. Smile said, what do you think about that red card to Leao? It's a red card. It's a second yellow card. And the first yellow card was avoidable. It's a yellow card because it was a kick to the head. There is nothing. First off, let's try and understand the rules of the game. Any ball above the chest is head ball. You can't use your leg. The bicycle kicks are allowed, but every time you play a bicycle kick, it's a 50-50 risk. If you don't kick the ball and your leg go to the player's head, sometimes some referee will give you a straight red. That referee was nice, was lenient enough to issue a second yellow, and then it was a red card that was coming because he had collected a yellow card before. There is nothing to argue about it. Even the whole AC Milan players knew. I mean, the player got his head bloody for that. So there is no minor, there's no argument. Anybody sitting up to make an argument for that is just wasting their time. That's what I think anyway. Mr. Smiley wants to say, I just have a philosophy. I agree with you. Properly structured club. Saviki said Nigerian clubs did well. They should ensure they sustain the tempo in the second leg. I am hoping that they would anyway. I am really, really hoping that they would. Okay, let's go to YouTube and see what you guys are saying over there. I asked quite a few questions and I need answers now. Yeah, let's start with Juventus. Mas Allegri, as they reach the end of the line, should he be fired? Should somebody else come in and take over the reins of the job? That's the one that I want us to look at. Should Mas Allegri be let go, or it's too early? Should they do the Chelsea, let him go and bring in somebody else? That's the question. And what's happening with Juventus generally? What can you say you've noticed with Juventus? Someone said after Barcelona won their game 4-0 against Cadiz, it said that Barcelona are odds-on favorite to win the title on Saturday. And at the same time, they also would have a say-so in the UEFA Champions League. I need to hear you people. You guys are my jury. Let me hear what you guys have got to say about that one. Is Barcelona, or have they shown enough to convince you guys that they are the team that would win the UEFA Champions League? Are they that team that would win the La Liga as well? Let's not forget that Real Madrid ran back and got it going. My friend said that when they play the Clasico, Barcelona will beat Real Madrid. I don't know. It is possible. It's also not possible. But let's see how that goes. But I just know that the Barcelona right now that I see is way, way more fascinating than the one that I've seen in the last 2 or 3 seasons. So there is hope, there is excitement, there is belief. And then in the Premier League, one of the things that people also are saying is that this is the year that Manchester City wins the Champions League. But I've never seen a team wins the Champions League without solidity at the back. Man City have conceded more goals this season already than they've considered at this stage in any other previous season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the number of goals that they're chipping in might just become a problem. People say that the way they play in Champions League is different from how they will play how they play in the league. I quite agree because teams will come out to play in the Champions League. Nobody's keeping low block that much. Nobody's sitting behind. But, I've also seen teams play badly in the group stage. Real Madrid is a very good example. Chelsea is another good example. And go on to win it when it gets to the knockout stage. I've seen Man City play all from group stage to the game where they get knocked out without losing a game, and then they get to lose one game and it's over. What would happen this season? I don't know. What's happening with the Manchester City defense? It's all in your hands. Let me hear what you guys have got to say. If you're Instagram, your YouTube, let's get to talk. There's no WhatsApp for us today. Oduni Ramileko say good morning. Good morning, oh. My football weekend beat out. It can't be like say football still in preseason. We move, Sha. Looking forward to the Europe games from tomorrow. What happened? Why? Okay, I guess you support the club in the EPL. I don't think it was bad. I support Arsenal, but I don't think it was bad. I didn't miss anything. Because for me, I watch every league. I enjoyed the AC Milan game. I didn't like. I enjoyed the Juventus game, but I didn't like that they didn't win because I was hoping that they would win after so many draws and losing to Paris Saint-Germain in Champions League. I thought that they would win that one, but that didn't happen. I do have a soft spot for Juventus, I must confess. But as I was watching the Juventus game, seeing all the goals that were being disallowed correctly by VAR, the red cards that are flying here and there, one of the things that crossed my mind is this is the first time I'm watching a Juventus team that I don't know the entire squad. Like, I don't know them without having to look extra, go back and check the internet and like, oh, who's this player? Where's he from? Where has he played before? Before I just know Juventus players. Like, who are you? Like, Juventus squad is on my palm like this. With my eyes closed, I could tell you the first 11, the reserve side and all that. But this is the first time that I did not know a lot of the players. I can't even tell where they were signed from. And then that was where it dawned on me that something is not just not right. Something is not the way it ought to be. Well, at that point, I just told myself that if with all the much knowledge I have of Juventus, and at this point, I don't know this Juventus, then I should also give them a break. So I'm cutting them some slack. Or on Instagram, Saviki says, I think Allegri have given it all. Diminishing return have set in. He has not made any significant impact in his return. They should show another coach. They should allow another coach to manage the team. Now that's this SMS that my friend in Genoa sent me, and he said I should go and call my dad to come manage Juventus. And guess who it was? My former teammate. He's an Italian guy. He's and it's an English translator for one of the Serie A teams. I can't mention his name and the team's name now. And he sent me that message. I should go call my dad. And the reason why he said that was because of Fabio Capello. So I met Fabio Capello when I was treating my leg in Turin, and I was so excited. I called him. I told my friend that I met Capello, and it was like a father, you know. So he always called him like that. I said I should not call my dad to come manage Juventus, and I said Capello is that old now, you know. It should be among the dogs. It should be resting, relaxing. Should be in line to receive a UEFA or FIFA lifetime award, like we saw with Arrigo Sacchi in the last UEFA award at the draws, you know. But what do you guys think? And where's Noel? Okay, Noel is here. Here's the fact. Say good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Noel to read. It's a crazy Juve game yesterday. It was unnecessarily wild. Honestly, I don't know why. On Instagram, Extrovert Mendel said, Barca is the most convincing team in La Liga this season. I support Madrid, but Barca is very scary. This season, they are the only one that shoots themselves in the foot. Okay, Chris Ika, he said, good work, brother. God bless you too. Yeah, man. I like that Jamaica, that patois feel in that message. And as a Patrick say, this is a new UV. Akimbola Larry, he said, good morning, Idafe. I'm loving the whole package of today's show. Ride on with churning out great content. Thank you very much. It's been a while. He said, good morning, SA. Can you put a capital letter to the first letter of my name, please? Good morning, SA. I'm sure Allegri, when you write people's name, put a capital letter to that first letter. It's not the problem of Juve. There is no quality and leaders in that team anymore. They need injection of quality players. Okay, so let me flip it. can you suggest like 3 or 4 players that they need to sign and add to that team? I think that they're good players. Look at AC Milan. AC Milan came out of nowhere. The only real top leader in that team was Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but they came close to winning the title. The first season, Inter Milan won it. And then the second season, they were able to use Frankese, Rafael Leao, all the small boys, even with Zlatan not playing regularly, to win. So couldn't Juventus do that? I'm not saying that they should go win the title. I'm saying they should contest. They should compete for the title. Like, show some stuff. I just think that Juventus are just falling apart. Like, you really expect them to do something. Okay, they're not losing anyway, but the amount of draws, God, I'm going to beat Man United to the draw challenge as it is right now. Okay, but let's see how it goes. Saviki says City concede as they score. This could hurt City in the knockout stage. We saw it played out against Madrid and Chelsea, where they were not able to cancel the long goal. Yes, I think so. It might hurt them, but let's keep our fingers crossed and see how that goes. And then this one is coming from away. It said, imagine their captain being Cuadrado at times. Well, that's true. That's a very good point. I don't think I can argue against this one. When I even see Cuadrado wearing the captain's armband of Juventus, I said to myself, damn, this is not a club that I used to know. This is not the old ladies. This is the young boys. This is not the old ladies anymore. The Zebras are not playing like this anymore. Okay. Damawa says Juve is eroding. Barca looks good up front, but lacks solidity at the back. Man City may reach the final of the Champions League, but they still look fragile in the finals. Okay, I agree with you. I like how you put it. Timothy Daimbo, he said, crediting Remo staff for coming out with a draw yesterday. Watching the game on my way home yesterday, those young boys try you. I hope they get the job done next weekend if they can. Group stage, here we go. Okay, everybody is taking to Remo Stars. Like I said before at the beginning of last season, that Remo Stars is one of the teams that I want to qualify for the continent. Look at the way they travel with their own jets, they travel with their own plane, they have their own. This is the kind of team you want to see representing Nigeria. Now, this is the reason why somebody sent me that. Why am I overtly excited about Remo Stars? The future of Nigerian football is private ownership. That's what I think, but private ownership in the right way. Now, if Remo Stars get it right, they make progress on the continent, come back to the league again and play, and also qualify for the continent again. The people like Sporting Lagos, who don't know what they're doing right now, might decide, okay, let's go and learn one thing, because they don't really need to go to Europe to learn this one. Let's go and learn a thing or two from what Remo Stars are doing. I know that Plateau United will get knocked out in the next round. Rivers United might. Oh, God. They will not be happy with me saying this now. I mean, this is like Saboteur at all. Might get knocked out in the next round. But coming off all of this, the way Remo Stars is built, small boys, real pretty young boys, competing very, very well. I hope they make very good progress. I'm not saying they're going to go win it, but I'm not going to reject if they win it. I'm not going to be sad if they win it. I'm not saying they're going to go on to win it, but if they do, it's fine. I just want to see them make progress and then put some consistency to this, because I think that of all the private owners of football club, and this date back to Leventis, Abiola base for me. Abiola was just the way people rate Abiola, I don't rate him like that. I know that Yoruba people be angry with me, but I think that Abiola was just one selfish son of a bitch. Like, whatever you guys say, I don't care. But that's what I think. This is my own opinion, and I have the right to it. This guy didn't do anything. There's no legacy. My children will not even know who the hell Abiola is. People built the kind of education, the kind of information, the kind of knowledge, the kind of affluence that is God. I was expecting that we will live to see the things that Abiola set up, structured down, and everybody would enjoy it over a long period of time. But everything was just about him. Abiola Babes, Concord, this one, that one, that. Everything was just about him and him alone. But there was no long-term structure. Abiola didn't build a stadium. Like, this is Abiola Babes, his own stadium that I built. There was no structure for it. But you look at Remo Stars, first off, they are affiliated to a club in Portugal, which is also a very good thing. Beyond that affiliation, they have their own facility. They are expanding on the facility. The facility comes with, a 2-star or 3-star hotel, 2 of it. They have all these facilities that are there. The pitches are very, very good, top quality. You can have teams camping there, preparing for a proper competition. That's what a professional football club should look like. Not like all these other clubs where the club goes to train every day in the stadium where they play their matches. The clubs are staying in one hotel somewhere, like in Rivers United. The clubs are staying in one place. They will spend like 4 to 5 hours in traffic before they get to training. After training, they spend another 4 to 5 hours before they get to their hotel. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing professional about that. So those are some of the things that I look at and I like, this is the way to go. Now, I wish they succeed. I wish they get it right and be good at it. And then they find consistency because there's structure. What would happen thereafter? Because there's always that question is, if Kule Shaname is not around, what happens? I don't know. Okay, but I love the structure that I'm saying. This is what a football club should look like. This, if we're really going to go forward, this is what it should be like. And their success could galvanize Ikorodu City, Sporting Lagos, Lekki United, also that one that is funded by Adokiye, could galvanize them to do just about the same. And we would have that thing that we all desire. Because right now we have clubs that are just doing rubbish. Okay, so if we could grow in that direction, other people will not see that it is possible. Like I always say to people that I do what I do and I hope that it succeeds, so that every young person could say, okay, we could do this part in Nigeria too and succeed. Because this whole idea that you have to go abroad to be successful, it's one of those things that I don't like. Okay, and the idea of you must be very super rich to set up a radio station to do, no, it's also another thing I'm trying to demystify with the work that I do here. So I think if Kule Shaname and his Remo stars succeed at what they are doing right now, the rest of us will be very, very hopeful. Oye say, I've been coming through on WhatsApp all this while. I'm here now because of the WhatsApp being done. Sorry about that one. Okay. It's a Patrick say, boss. Maybe, just maybe, late Abiola didn't live long enough and he had too many business on his plate. That's not true. You're just making an excuse for something that wasn't right. See, we used to live in a country where we hide people unnecessarily, and we still do that thing. We just hide people unnecessarily, people who don't deserve to be hid, people who didn't really, benefit the ecosystem, people who out of their own selfish interest block the road for others and focus on themselves alone. It was me, myself, and I'm saying it because I know that saying it does not sound well to a lot of people. And this is Nigeria. It's like if I come on radio and say, oh, Adeboye, I don't like the way he does this, and everybody will go pissed. And they will not want to hear my reason. I understand, especially in a country where we put religion, ethnicity, and bias over competence and excellence. We love Arsenal, Barcelona, Real Madrid. We don't know the people that formed those clubs. We don't know the people that started it. So when you have somebody who's a chartered accountant, like Abiola, who went to school, who had all of the best knowledge, who is top of the line, mixed up with the very best in advanced society, and that is what he left behind. Which information? How busy was Rockefeller? J. Rockefeller. How big was Henry Ford? They made a mistake, but they left legacies. I'm talking about legacies. So if you don't want some young, crazy, nasty journalist like me or somebody podcaster like me in the future talking shit like this about you, because they would, and I would. People will talk about me too. Do the things that would provide a legacy on the ground. Don't be doing me, myself, and I. Because find a way to open doors for other people. Find a way to, when you set up any structure, institutionalize it in such a way that it will live over you. Not the people in Nigeria, and this is one of the things that I don't like about a lot of people in Nigeria. Many people in Nigeria build their brand or build their companies for just them. After they die, 5 years after they died, they would, from the spiritual world, they will call the company to die too. You don't want to have that, because we cannot afford to always start afresh. That is my thing. We cannot afford to always start afresh. And Timothy said, mine is Bagada FC. I really want them to get into the NPFL soon, though. I love Bagada FC. I've supported them very well. But I think that Bagada FC is also making the Abiola mistake. And he's my friend. He's somebody that I like. But I think that the club is built too much around Yelu. He's the president, he's the coach, he's the manager, he's everything. He's got to break that down and allow other people run the club and set back. That's something that Dan has did that I love. And we need to get to that place where it's not about you, okay? It's not about you, especially when you're lucky to have the funding. When you don't have the funding, I can understand. It's the way I stand right now. I don't think that I will be, if I have the funding and this channel, is hitting the numbers that I want, I don't think I'll be here doing the show every day. Not because I don't want to do the show, but I want people in this place who will be doing it, and they'll be doing it fine. Do you see Robert Mudek on Sky Sports? You see, what's it called, on CNN? No, they don't. Because you need to understand that these companies need to run on their own. That's what we need. We need to get into that space and be able to think like that, because if we're not thinking like that right now, we'll continue to press the refresh button. Even our pastors in church will tell you every year, it's my year of new beginning. You can't be having new beginning all the time. Are you a baby? You can't be having, you have to continue. You have to build on what you've already set up. Okay, as a Patrick said, personally, I feel he invested in human more than he invested in the economy, just as Bros Ali is doing. Well, what do I know? Humans, I don't know that one. That investment in humans, I don't know about that one. Sharp. Is it Patrick say you have a valid point, though he did most of it alone? Well, I've got to run now. My time is up, and I wish all the teams that are going to play today very well. Congratulations to the team on the continent for doing us proud. I just hope that they continue. For that person who sent me a message asking me why am I not posting about the Queen, I don't know. She's not my queen. She's the Queen of England. I'm not a British person. I'm a Nigerian person. I don't know when any king or anybody die in Nigeria, how much they posted in England, or how much they do. But the person who presided over our slavery, the execution of a lot of black people that I should post about, I don't understand where that is coming from anyway. But let's keep our focus and live our lives the way that it pleases us. If you post, I'm not going to argue against you, but me, I will not. That's just it. Well, like I've always said, be the very best of who you're created to be. Don't be part of those people that are destroying. Is the party that Nigerians should learn history? It's affecting us. Yeah, I agree with you. They are blaming schools for not teaching history, but there is Google there. You can search, you can read, you can ask questions, and get the right answers. But a lot of people don't want to learn history, so they are moved by the wind of event and the moment. Well, it's fine if it works for you, good. If it makes you excited, if it makes you get orgasm, that's good. But don't drag any other person into that your play, because we all don't see life from the same perspective. Okay, me, I like to learn from history. I don't know how to forgive people who do me bad, because that's a way of giving them a room to come back. All those people say that if you don't forgive, you are hurting yourself. They are lying. To me, they are lying. Not forgiving people is letting them know, letting other people around you know that when they do it, this is what you will do to them. So everybody learn to respect themselves. The big nations of the world don't forgive. When you do wrong to them, they will deal with you. I don't know where people come with this whole thing. Religion is our very biggest problem. We turn it upside down, but that's a different conversation for another day. So the show this Monday morning. Remember, tomorrow is myself and Emmanuel Sebastian in the studio, and then again I'll be back on the live stream on Wednesday. But until then, be the very best of who God created you to be. My name is Idafi Manchester. You love to come to the sports. It's been a wonderful time on the sports buffet this morning. Good morning, and have a wonderful start to the new working week. Bye bye.
Unlimited TV radio. We dare to lead.
Hi, my name is Ebube Duru, Papa Acquah there, and I live in China, Kwara United. Keep listening.